Welcome, seeker of quiet adventures. Would you like to leave behind your day and step into a night of silk and shadows? Tonight, the year is 1750. Venice wears 1,000 masks, and every face tells a different story. The music waits, the lanterns sway, and behind each mask, a choice. Before the journey begins, tap subscribe so we can meet again in other nights and other cities. And leave a comment. Tell us, where are you now? What time is it? And how was your day? We're here and we're listening. Settle in comfortably. Breathe, slow and deep. From your shoulders to your fingertips, let the day loosen its hold. The cozy shop appears before you, glowing with warmth. The door creaks open. The story begins. The shop is dim tonight. The light doesn't come from above, but from below. A soft amber glow spills out from under the shelves, like candlelight reflected on water. You step inside, and the door closes with a whisper. The air smells of melted wax, pressed linen, and something else, older, like dried violets sealed in a letter you've never opened. Each shelf is dressed differently tonight. Not like a store, more like a stage. Here, a silk fan painted with cranes in flight, edges worn from hands that trembled. There, a single earring, pearl set in jet, still threaded with a loose blonde hair. A tarnished invitation card tied with black ribbon. A flute carved from cherry wood. A domino mask covered in black velvet, with the faintest stain of wine on the right edge, as if someone had laughed while drinking. You reach for the mask. The moment your fingers touch the fabric, the light changes. The sphere flickers into being behind the counter. Not bright, not harsh. Its glow is warm, like fire caught in thick glass. And beside it, emerging from the soft shadow, she steps forward. She is in her early 30s, graceful and poised. The black satin gown shimmers softly in the candlelight, its deep neckline revealing the elegant line of her shoulders, while fine silver patterns run along the sleeves. A simple golden necklace rests on her neck, glinting warmly in the glow. Her golden brown hair falls in gentle curls, framing her face with natural ease. Behind the smooth white porcelain mask, her light blue eyes catch the glow, warm and attentive. From somewhere outside, the soft patter of rain reaches in through the silence. You feel the cool dampness clinging to your coat. Nothing severe, just the trace of the weather you came through. She greets you with the warmth of someone welcoming an old friend.
"Oh, you've brought the rain in with you,"
she says with a quiet smile.
"Let me take that."
Stepping closer, she eases the coat from your shoulders, her hands steady and gentle as they guide the fabric away. For a fleeting moment, the lingering chill gives way to the warmth of her touch. She hangs the coat nearby, where the firelight will coax it dry.
"There,"
she murmurs, almost to herself, before her gaze returns to you. It is the kind of look that asks nothing, yet holds a silent reassurance.
"I like it when my guests feel at home here."
She continues, her voice low, almost conspiratorial.
"Masks can hide so much, but sometimes they can give something precious back."
She moves back behind the counter with an unhurried grace, the hem of her gown whispering against the floorboards. From a small drawer, she draws out a folded sheet of parchment. setting it on the polished wood between you.
This
She says, fingertips resting lightly on the paper.
is your invitation for tonight.
The parchment is heavy, its surface faintly textured beneath your touch. As you unfold it, golden script blooms across the page, as if woken by the warmth of your hands.
An invitation to adventure.
Go on.
She says, with a smile that is both encouraging and just a little mysterious.
Venice, 1750.
Her smile warms, not with surprise, but with the quiet satisfaction of someone who has been expecting this all along.
Venice.
She says, her tone almost savoring the word. Her blue eyes hold yours for a heartbeat, steady and luminous in the warm light.
It's a city that loves to surprise, even those who think they know it well. Tonight, it has a way of finding the parts of you you've kept behind your own mask.
From beneath the counter, she produces a delicate golden device shaped like an open locket. The chronotron. She places it in your palm, and it rests there as though it belongs.
The night is yours.
She says, her voice soft but certain.
Here, you can try anything, speak anything, be anyone, and whatever you choose, it stays between you and the mask.
Behind you, a door opens with a slow, patient creak. The air shifts warmer, scented with candle smoke, salt, and the faint sweetness of perfume. Beyond the threshold, stone steps glistening faintly from the rain, a gondola waiting, its hull dark against the lantern-lit water. On a small velvet cushion, a mask rests, its ribbon stirring as if in a breeze you cannot feel. Her voice follows you like a gentle tide.
Go. Let the city dress you in shadows and silver. And tonight, forget your name.
You take the mask. The gondola rocks as you step inside, the water lapping softly against its sides. The gondolier, silent and faceless in a plain bauta mask, pushes away from the dock. The city glides past in fragments, a narrow bridge overhead, the shimmer of silk in a window, the echo of laughter from a balcony. The rhythm of the oar against the water becomes the only measure of time. Then the canal bends and the world opens. The air in the piazza is warm with breath and music. Lantern light spills across marble, catching in the silks, brocades, and feathers that swirl together like a living tapestry. A hush ripples outward through the crowd, and all eyes lift toward the campanile. There, high above, a figure in white steps to the edge of the belfry balcony, her gown shimmering with tiny crystals, her feathered wings edged in silver. She pauses, and the music swells. Then she leans forward, and the night holds its breath. The flight of the angel begins. She glides slowly down the golden rope, scattering a handful of crimson and gold petals into the air. They drift toward the crowd, turning lazily in the lamplight, before touching down on hair, on shoulders, on masks. Applause erupts like a wave breaking against stone. The tradition, they say, began centuries ago, when a daring acrobat from the east crossed from ship to bell tower on a rope high above the city. It was called Il Volo del Turco, the flight of the Turk. Time turned the feat into art, and the art into ritual. Now, it marks the start of the carnival's final, most fevered week. In the press of movement, you feel a brush of fabric at your arm. A woman in a deep crimson mask turns her head just enough for you to see the curve of her lips. Before you can speak, another joins her, silver masked, eyes like reflections of the moonlit canal. "You look untethered," she says, as though the word is a compliment. They flank you without haste, moving as if you were already part of their circle. The music swells again, and the three of you drift toward the shadowed edge of the square, where the lanterns cast a softer glow. The woman in crimson tilts her head, studying the pale mask you wear. Her gloved fingertips trace the air an inch from your cheek, never touching, yet close enough to feel the warmth of her presence. The silver-masked one leans closer, her perfume a warm blend of amber and bitter orange. "Do you know who you are tonight?" she whispers, her breath almost touching your ear. Before you can answer, she lifts her mask just enough for her lips to meet your cheek, the barest, softest kiss, warm against the cool air, and then they're gone. No farewell, no explanation, only the briefest flash of silk vanishing back into the current of masked dancers. From somewhere to your right, a soft murmur rises.
Casanova.
You follow the sound and see him, or someone wearing his legend. A black bottom mask, a wide cloak, a tilt of the head that suggests both invitation and danger. Whether it is truly him or not, the crowd believes. And perhaps that is enough. The crowd stirs like a single living organism, and you feel that the city itself is guiding you. Applause hasn't yet faded after the angel's flight, but your heart is already beating in a new rhythm. A figure in a cloak turns toward you, that very silhouette, Casanova. He glides closer, and in his gesture, there's no fuss, no plea, only an invitation.
Are you coming with me?
It sounds not like a question, but an affirmation, light as the rustle of a mask. You don't respond with words, only with a step. The square dissolves behind you. The campanile, the music, hundreds of eyes, all fade into the soft murmur of water and silk. A narrow alley, illuminated by a single lantern, greets you. Here, the carnival quiets, as if the city's breath has slowed. In his eyes, a play of light, and you understand. He could be anyone. A hero, a deceiver, a lover, a shadow. He pulls from the folds of his cloak a small key, thin, golden, with an ornate monogram.
Venice holds thousands of doors,
He says, extending the key to you.
but only one ever opens. The one you choose.
There's no rush in his voice. The key cools your palm, and in that moment, the air changes again. You hear the distant chime of bells, and it seems as if the night itself is guiding your path. You follow him, and the city seems to contract around you. Narrow streets curve, bridges rise, and then vanish into shadow. The water in the canals reflects only pale glimmers from the lanterns. Casanova is no longer beside you, only his footsteps, like an echo ahead. The golden key chills your hand, and it feels heavier than it should. You're led not by reason, but by feeling, as if Venice itself is revealing its hidden pattern. Doors with peeling paint, arches where the wind carries the scent of salt and old wine. Blank walls that breathe history. Finally, you stop before an unremarkable door. Its wood has darkened over centuries, but the keyhole gleams with a fresh golden reflection. The key in your palm seems to come alive. You insert it into the lock. The click resounds loudly, like the strike of a bell in the night. You enter the hall where the light of hundreds of candles dances on golden curtains. The air is thickly infused with the scent of rose essence and wax. Casanova has vanished, and now your attention is drawn to the stage. You feel that no one here objects to your presence. One of the servants in a velvet doublet silently places a glass of wine before you. To your left, a girl in a feathered mask gently touches your shoulder and points to an empty chair beside her. Her smile is warm, with not a shadow of doubt, as if she's glad you've arrived. You sit down. A girl in a form-fitting black gown steps onto the stage. The thin fabric flows with her movements, accentuating the grace of her silhouette. She's like a ballerina, light as if floating, and every gesture of her hands seems like a declaration of love. The story unfolds before your eyes. A girl from a noble family and a simple young man dare to challenge conventions. Their meeting is full of tenderness and audacity. Whispers rise in the hall.
What boldness and what charm.
An elderly man exclaims enthusiastically, clapping his hands.
I would never allow myself such a thing. Honor is more important than whims.
Another says coldly.
Ah, girls, in my youth I had exactly such an intrigue.
One lady laughs, leaning toward her friends, her eyes sparkling beneath a lace mask. You stand up, leave the glass untouched, and head toward the grand doors. You step out into the cool night, and from somewhere already comes the sound of water, the splashes of oars, and music. The air is fresh, infused with the salt of the lagoon and the light scent of wet stone that always hangs over Venice after sunset. Your footsteps echo on the marble slabs of the embankment, and before you unfolds a spectacle as if descended from ancient engravings. A procession of gondolas, a flotilla of dozens of boats, each one a work of art. These black, gracefully curved vessels, whose design has not changed since the 11th century when the Venetians perfected them for maneuverability in narrow canals, glide over the dark surface of the water like shadows from the past. Each gondola is decorated with garlands of flickering lanterns. Small glass lamps reminiscent of the Venetian glass-blowing craftsmanship from the island of Murano, and bouquets of fresh flowers, whose petals of roses and lilies flutter in the wind, spreading a sweet, almost intoxicating aroma. The lights tremble in reflections on the water, transforming the canal into a living canvas of gold, silver, and shadows, where reality merges with illusion, like in the mirrors of Venetian palazzos. Masked figures on the sides, men in cloaks with golden trim, women in lavish dresses of silk and lace, sing ancient serenades, their voices intertwining with the melodies of lutes and violins drifting from the lead gondola. This is an echo of carnival traditions rooted in 1162, when Venice celebrated victory over the Patriarch of Aquileia, and masks became a symbol of anonymity, allowing aristocrats and commoners to mingle in a whirlwind of revelry, forgetting strict social norms. Confetti scattered by them falls onto the waves like a starry rain, and the wind catches it, swirling it in the air, settling on your shoulders as a light, rustling veil. You feel a surge of adrenaline. Your heart beats faster, your skin prickles with goosebumps from the chill, and your nose tingles with the scent of raw gondola wood and distant torch smoke. One of the gondoliers, in a black hat and a white mask, the typical bauda which hid faces in times when the carnival lasted for months, gestures to invite you aboard. You step into the boat, feeling a gentle rocking under your feet, as if the water is alive and breathing in unison with the city. The gondolier silently propels the vessel forward with a long oar, and the rhythm of the splashes merges with your breathing, creating a hypnotic pulse. Venice around you pulsates like the heart of an ancient myth, where every canal is an artery and every bridge is a link between eras. You sail in the procession, surrounded by other gondolas, and hear snippets of conversations, whispers about past intrigues, laughter over jokes reminiscent of Commedia dell'arte, where Harlequin and Columbine performed farces under the open sky. Suddenly, your attention is drawn to the chronotron in your palm, the golden medallion from that mysterious shop where the masked woman whispered about its power. It doesn't transport you back in time, as people imagine time travel to the past. Suddenly, your attention is drawn to the chronotron in your palm, the golden medallion from that mysterious shop where the masked woman whispered about its power. It doesn't transport you back in time, as people imagine time travel to the past, but immerses you in it, in memory, in the stillness that once trembled. With it, you can accelerate the flow of time, witnessing temples and castles being built before your eyes, ones that took decades to construct. The medallion warms in your hand, its surface smooth and cool like Venetian glass, and you squeeze it, feeling a light tingling in your fingers, like an electric current from another dimension. Suddenly, time accelerates, like a river bursting through a dam, and the world around you transforms into a whirlwind. Before your eyes, the city comes alive in a kaleidoscope of eras. First, the canals deepen, their natural waterways, shaped over millennia, expand under the pressure of waves and human hands, turning into the 150 channels that today encircle Venice's 118 islands. You see millions of wooden piles made of larch and oak, brought from the mainland, being driven into the muddy ground to create the foundations on which all the city's buildings stand, for without them, Venice would sink into the lagoon. Here rises the Rialto Bridge, the most famous of the 438 bridges. In 1588, Antonio da Ponte begins its construction from Istrian stone, and you watch the bridge's arch rise in minutes, though in reality, it took 3 years, connecting markets and trading quarters where the coins of Venetian merchants once jingled. Stones stack one upon another with a rumble echoing in your head, and the air fills with the dust and the scent of fresh mortar. Next, palazzos soar toward the sky like living beings. The Doge's palace, Palazzo Ducale, whose construction began in the 9th century but acquired its main Gothic forms in the 14th to 15th centuries, grows layer by layer, marble columns, arches, and balconies where Doges ruled the Republic, symbolizing wealth from the trade in spices and silk. You feel the vibration under your feet as if the earth trembles from the builder's efforts, and hear the shouts of workers mingling with a splash of water. Nearby, the Basilica of San Marco is born. From 828, when the relics of St. Mark were brought, it is built until 1094, its domes and golden glass mosaics flaring up under your gaze, reflecting Byzantine influence brought by Venetians from Constantinople. Temples and castles, such as the Ca' d'Oro, with its gilded facades from the 15th century, emerge in an instant, their towers stretching upward, adorned with frescoes and sculptures, while the air grows heavy with the smell of paint and wood. The crowd of masks around you turns into a kaleidoscope of figures. Medieval merchants in velvet, with turbans from the east, mingling with shadows of future visitors in modern attire. And you feel dizziness, as if you yourself are spinning in this vortex. An atmosphere of magic envelops you, ephemeral and fragile, where past, present, and future intertwine into one endless carnival. You feel Venice whispering through the chronotron. All this is but a moment, yet in it lies all eternity, the entire history of the city built on water, where every stone tells of triumphs and floods, of the Republic's flourishing and its decline under Napoleon in 1797, when the carnival was banned, but revived in 1979 to live on. Time slows down, and the gondola carries you out onto the open lagoon, where dawn silvers the water, turning it into a mirror reflecting the first pink rays. The masks are removed. Around you is silence, broken only by the distant cry of seagulls and the splash of waves against the sides. The city quiets under the first rays of the sun, drifting into sleep. Its silhouettes, bridges, palazzos, basilicas now seem eternal, but you know their fragility. The chronotron warms in your palm, its heat spreading through your body, causing a light shiver, and reality melts away like a morning mist over the lagoon. You feel your body growing lighter, while memories become brighter. The scents of the carnival, the splashes of oars, the whirlwind of eras. You return to the present, but Venice remains within you. The shadows of masks, the silver of the waters, the echo of bridges being built, and the echo of what once trembled, forever changing your soul, leaving the sensation that time is not a line, but a circle where every moment is eternal. Thank you for gliding with us through the serene canals of Venice, for listening, for breathing, for remembering. When you wake, you may not recall every detail, but something will stay with you. A softness, a slowness, the calm that comes just after the lagoon stills. And if one night you find your thoughts growing heavy again, you know where to go. The cellar of adventures is always there, waiting, watching, with another ticket in hand. Until then, sleep well.